Hello and welcome to another episode of our podcast. As you can see, it's only the three of us today. Jonathan Giles desperately left us in the lurch, so I just have to take over the main podcast as well. And yeah, let's see how that goes. As we normally do, we have our normal guests here on the zone, John and Eamon. As always, you are one of the main guests anyway. So we're gonna do this now. We're gonna do a half-hour podcast today. So we're gonna get everything. Not too much to talk about anyway.
Evening, Jonathan. Yes, you're not Jonathan there. You're that Hassan Hilton fella there.
Yeah, I went though and had a good tactic on the weekend. So unfortunately,
As I say, good evening is at the end of the day. As I say, good evening is at the end of the day. Perry Neal and Don Howe were a great partnership, and I was very pleased with it. Anyway, good evening all. Good to see you, John.
Evening, mate. How's it going?
Good stuff. So as we're gonna make this short and sweet today, the first time we actually dropped some points. Well, actually, not the first time. We already lost to United, but it's the first time a draw since I don't know. I think January they said.
January is what I heard. Yeah.
January, yeah, which is unusual. We either lose or we win. But yeah, look, what a game it was. I don't know where he's watched it. I watched it at home. It's just as Eamon would say, so frustrating with that referee. I don't know what happened. But never blame the referee. We should have won this game way earlier than we actually did. And if you're 1-0, you always have a chance to lose the game or even draw the game. So, and that's exactly what we did. I thought we had quite a good start. When Zaka scored our thing after 11 minutes, I thought, look, here we go. That's it. Let's go on. But nothing happened. Okay, a few bits and pieces but I don't know about yourselves, but I thought the referee was shocking. The fouls he didn't give, the two penalty claims, I thought they were very, very clear. And that just kind of did us in the first half. And in the second half, it just didn't turn up. Or it looked like we're still having this hangover from the last couple of weeks, which is understandable in some way. But as I said, we should have won this much earlier, and we should have had a much easier thing. Changes should have been made. But that's it. That's football. We're not the only ones to drop points at this weekend, so we're still on top. Just 2 points now, but it could have been a much better result. So I don't know. I'm gonna start with Eamon. What did you think about it?
Well, the first thing I'll say about this team is, and you've referenced draws and that, never mind what the 49ers did. This team has been unbeaten for an entire prime minister. So when is the last time we can say that?
True.
Imagine if it was Churchill. Yeah, we'd be in clover. Okay, so again, I share your analysis, and John and I were both in the supporters club, manning different stations, as it were. I was minding a 13-year-old who said to his dad, I don't know why he picked me. He said to his dad, I want to go into the supporters club and speak to somebody who knows about Arsenal, So welcome, Finn, to the supporters club. I think he had a good day. But look, again, we got a lightning start. The combination football we played in the opening 20 minutes was superb. I just feel we need to be a bit more ruthless. I mean, Gabriel Jesus was nearly there. Odegaard scuffed a shot that he should have passed into the net. We got a great goal. Granit Xhaka again, his finishing was incredible. His willingness to get into the box, incredible. All great stuff, going really, really well. And then something happened that changed the game, right? And that Colette car on Gabriel Jesus is a penalty all day long.
Yeah,
in
100%.
100. And if you look at the penalties Chelsea and Villa got over the weekend, I mean, how can it be so inconsistent when the whole idea of VAR is to bring fairness to the game? And I'm not one for whinging about referees. I'm not one for whinging. We had a bit of luck against Liverpool with VAR. Yeah. But this was a clear-cut penalty. And not only that, an arguable red card, because he stopped the man going through on goal from momentum with both arms around him. If you look at the one that Scott McTominay gave away, I thought that was a penalty. But my God, it was only half the foul that Colette Carr did on you. I mean, Robbie Henshaw would have been proud of that. William Webb Ellis himself. I'm surprised the referee didn't blow the whistle and give us a scrum the way it was going. And I think that moment was big in the game, because I think what Southampton did after that was they manhandled Gabriel Jesus for the rest of the game. He was, brought to the ground. And then what happened was the game got interrupted with that kind of physicality. And then you say, well, why didn't we respond? I can guarantee you, if Gabriel did that down the other end, or Gabriel, a yellow card and a penalty all day long, as it was with Man City last year, okay, all of that. I can guarantee you, if Granit Xhaka was the lead from the front and do some of the things that they were at, it would be, oh, well, Xhaka's been stupid. He needs to control his temperament. I'm sick of it now at this stage. But I'll just go on from there, and I'll be quick. I'll say that that interrupted the flow of the game. They then got a pile of corners, and Ward-Prowse's delivery from corners is that good. They tried to intimidate Ramsdale the whole time and landed in on top of him. I thought he did very well, acquit himself there. I thought we defended the corners very well, but it broke up the game. In the second half, I just thought we had a golden opportunity. Odegaard to Jesus on the counter attack. He didn't put enough on the pass for me. Odegaard, another 2 meters. I think out of so frustrating, Deirdre, I ran over to John in the bar and I said, "What do you think, John? Was it a bad touch, or could he have done more with the pass?" I think he could have done more with the pass.
Yeah.
I think if he'd done more with the pass, I don't think Jesus has to take that touch. And I think he's true in goal. And then a delicious setup by Odegaard. I can't remember in the context of the game where that one was, the one that he teed up for Jesus on the volley. He could have done more with that too, but our lad in goal, Bazuma did a fantastic save. And then the game kind of petered out. But really, Southampton, for the way they opened up for the goal, and for, I'm not giving out about Southampton and their physicality. Good luck to them. I thought they were worth their point in the end. And rather than be desperation, saying, "Oh, we've dropped a point," and people texting me saying, "We're now only 2 points ahead of Man City." Can we get real, folks? Right? Like if we're anywhere in the Paris coming up for the World Cup, we'll be in a happy place. And we're looking at top 4 qualification at this point. Let's not get carried away with ourselves. That's our aim. Anything that we can be in contention for, great. But I think the consensus around my mind, and my last comment would be, we stole 3 points at Leeds. We probably should have got 3 points at Southampton. We got 4 out of 2 games where I think 4 was merited. And that goes back to, if you get 2 points for every game, you'll end up the top 4 at 76 points. So, chin.
That's it, yeah. No, 100%. It's just one of these things. Like we are 12 points better off than last season at the same stage, and it's a funny league. Man United are only 8 points back, but they're also only 10 points off the bottom. So it's actually like a very, very tight league at the moment. But we're still on top, and I take it anytime. So John, you were same in the River Bar. How did you say?
I kind of seen it exactly the same as Eamon. Don't want to spend too much time on the refereeing. Refereeing across the board in the Premier League is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
There's no consistency whatsoever. You're saying that with that West Ham's first goal, how's that on a handball? I'll never know. I swear to God. As Eamon said, I think we benefited from a few VAR decisions over the last couple of weeks. We didn't get it this time round. I think if the ref gives that as a penalty, VAR doesn't overturn it. I thought the yellow card for Saka diving was ridiculous. He didn't dive at all. I mean, you can say he was off balance and he went down, but don't give the free kick for him. Definitely wants to dive. So we scored the first 20 minutes, as Eamon said, brilliant. We played fantastic football, scored a fantastic goal, but it's something we've had since the start of the season. We haven't been able to get that killer second goal. So often we just haven't got it. Southampton, to their credit, they changed their tactics. They got on top of Odegaard, they got on top of Partey, and they never really threatened. They scored a great goal, in fairness, but they never really threatened us the way Leeds did. Ramsey dealt with all those corners. He was superb from that point of view, but he never really had that much to do. Southampton changed the game into basically a dogfight in the middle of the park. We struggled to get through them. They just stopped us playing. They scored a fantastic equaliser. As Emma said, they probably deserved the draw in the end. Take the points, roll off. Let's take on Forest next week. It is frustrating when we're on top and not getting that extra goal. Jesus, he's still causing problems. I'd be more worried if he wasn't getting those chances, but he is getting those chances, and I think it's only a matter of time before he gets one away, and then we'll get him back going again. But he's still doing the work. He's still causing trouble for the defences. I think we're missing Smith Rowe and Zinchenko in particular, just to change things.
Yeah.
You know, just to change. That's what we're missing. We just don't have.
Especially Smith Rowe coming in, John. You know.
Yeah. Just to give you that something different, give them something to think about. I thought Tierney coming on in the second half, giving us that little bit extra going forward, looking at the overlap. Maybe he could have been brought on early. Maybe you can even question whether Tommy Asso was needed at left back. I'll never question him as a defender, but he's not an overlapping fullback, not in the same mould as Tierney. But look, that's hindsight's a wonderful thing.
John, what did you think of the substitution of Martinelli?
Well, he wasn't really getting into the game. So, I mean, I maybe it was a case of, this game, it's a bit of it's bogged down. Let's get him on, rest his legs, and get Eddie on. Let's be honest, he's played a hell of a lot of games, Martinelli. Maybe Arteta just looked at it and said, you know what, you've had 70 minutes. You played a big game on Tuesday night as well. Okay, I'm going to take you out and give Eddie 20 minutes and see if he can do something different. I don't really mind that. I mean, if he was causing trouble in the second half the way he was in the first, maybe. But we were struggling to get him into the game because Southampton had basically closed down the avenue on the supply to him. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But, the substitutions, he kind of made a difference, Tierney. Vieira, he only had 10 minutes, so he never really got a chance to get into the game. Eddie, did all right.
I thought Eddie did. I thought Eddie was quite strong. I thought he was more robust, you could create with maybe bring Jesus out under the wing and play Eddie through the middle, maybe stick him a little bit. Yeah. But
I would have thought. I would have thought, sometimes I know we have our strong starting 11 now, and Tommy Asso now being on the left, maybe that's the only change that we had for the last couple of, games we played. I think, Zinchenko is definitely missing. I think that he's that missing part in our midfield to create a bit more forward momentum to go on it. But on the other side, though, I would have thought, just for, not because it's Southampton or whatever, he could have changed it up a bit, because I think we are getting a bit predictable. For what we have. So it's great that we have a starting 11. That's fair enough, But I think for such a game, especially with PSV coming up on during the week, we could have played a bit of team starting Ketia or something like that. I'm not sure. But
I suppose, Martin, though, and just on that now, and I understand totally what you're saying. But on that, if we'd have got the penalty we should have got and got a second, and then went on to win 3 or 4, because we created 4 goals worth of chances.
Yeah, we're 100%. Yeah,
we probably wouldn't be saying we're that predictable. I thought we were outstanding for 20 minutes in terms of the combination play and the speed of it and the speed of thought. But it's just a pity. If we'd have got that second goal, folks, we'd have been out the gap.
I think we would have. Yeah. But as Martin has always found the saying, the other team are entitled to do tactics as well.
Absolutely.
When we didn't get that
formation after 20 minutes,
Yeah, they did change the formation, and they basically stopped us. They found a way to stop us down there.
In fairness, we say this now for a lot of games now as well. We should have actually scored more goals than we did, and this time it just came to bite us in the arse. And unfortunately, it is. One thing I have to say, I don't know, I'm gonna ask you about the man of the match. For me, I know we'll be talking all about Saka, and how good a footballer is. But I have to say, what I've seen in the last 2 games of Saka, how strong he became. And how he's basically defenders are trying to get him off. He's just pushing him away. He's just getting an absolute beast of a player, And I really have to say, as soon as we tie down that contract, we did it with Gabriel now. He signed a new contract. Yeah. But as soon as we can tie down Saka, the better it is, because that fella is just gonna get better and better. And he's just I couldn't believe the tackles he's gone through, and he just basically just an American football player just goes through the motions here. So look, man of the match, it's always hard when you have a draw, but I thought for me Saka played quite a good game. It's just like for me he's one of the players. But on the other side, the other Xhaka, his second goal with the right foot in the space of in a week, which he didn't score anything for years.
Well,
so
I'm gonna go with him, and the guy who I took so much abuse over for being supportive of him, because he didn't get to be the captain of Borussia Mönchengladbach at 22 years of age for the crack. There was always a player in him, and we used him for the wrong role. But I tell you, Partey didn't play well at the weekend, right? And Xhaka was trying to do a bit of two things. And Partey has been brilliant this season, so this is not the only matter. So for me, Granit Xhaka was our man of the match. I'm just on Partey. Although he's not playing well, although he didn't play well at the weekend, he still does a thing that I love. When he receives the ball in that gap, he gets turned straight away. I was trying to point out to that young lad that was with, watch the difference between him and, say, Declan Rice. Declan Rice will always take his first touch in the direction it came from. Partey is a natural thing. And that's one of the things, I suppose, going forward, that Sambi Lokonga has to become proficient at if he's going to fill that number 6 position, But Granit Xhaka for me, Martin,
Grant. And for you, John?
Well, I thought Partey actually played well in the first 15, 20 minutes till Southampton.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Gabriel. I thought when we came under pressure, again, he was the main centre-half. Saliba, the last couple of away games, I think he's had a bit of a reality check. He's a marked man now. He was the star guy the first 7 or 8 games of the season. Everyone was praising him. Now the opposition are starting to walk him out, and he needs to learn now.
They're getting on top of him a lot quicker, John, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. They're not getting time to pick his passes. Don't get me wrong, his passing levels are still fantastic, but he's not as effective as he was, and it's great that he has a strong man like Gabriel beside him.
That's a terrific observation, John. But do you know what I was thinking about that over the last couple of days about Saliba? Was that he's so good and composed and relaxed on the ball. I think teams have made a conscious decision. This guy might try and sleepwalk his way past you. Get on top of him. And he's shanking balls a bit. But look, I'm no worries about him over the duration, And
I think that's the way I said, I think we're becoming a bit too predictable about it. So the teams can actually make an assumption like that, So maybe we could have put White in, put Tomiyasu where normal plays, put Tierney in, and then see how that goes. Just for that, because it's Southampton. If it would have been Liverpool, I would have said
another 12 points and we're safe.
Yeah. Well, which should be. I hope that is something we can definitely achieve. Okay.
I'm just going. You're going back on. Maybe we could have changed Saliba. I wouldn't change him. He has to learn.
Oh, look, he has to learn, but even just for tactics, I'm sure he's going to be tired as well. He needs a bit of a rest as well. I think
he's 21. He can run all day. Will you stop it?
No, he's still defending well. He's still defending well. The only thing is, the point I'm trying to make is that his luster has been has been dulled a little bit by the fact that teams are actually saying he's so good on the ball that he trusts himself all the time, and this is the Premier League, right? Let's put a bit of heat on him, right? And he's got to work. He's got to find his way into the pace of that. But in the meantime, the positive about all of it is, while he's been not at his best, Gabriel has been a 9 out of 10 for the last number of games.
Absolutely. So Gabriel will be my man of the match.
Yeah. Good call.
And I think that's a good reason. And I'm sure, for the future, Gabriel now signed a contract. I'm hoping Saliba will follow suit as well. They could play for years to come. They could be a really strong partnership when they get even older. I'm sure they have a bright future. But anyway, so what it leaves us, as I said, 2 points on top. Still fantastic result. Where we are from compared to last year. And now, obviously, having the match PSV during the week, which hopefully can look at draw, will tie up that group, and then we can concentrate on Nottingham Forest on the Sunday. So it's another thing they beat Liverpool 1-0 on the weekend. So kind of okay, what do you think about that? But I think it's going to be one of these games again. I think we play at home. I think we should have no problems, playing against them. I think that 1-0 I think it's really because Liverpool are playing so bad. I'm not sure what's happening with Liverpool at the moment. One day they're up, one day they're down. Look, they're a newly promoted team. They've been out at the bottom. Now they're back into it because Leicester had like an amazing win. Villa had wins on it. So yeah, it's one of these Southampton games, the Leeds games. You know, they're dangerous. I'm quite sure they have some very good players. But for me, I'm looking forward to this game. I think we can get 3 points out of it. And I'm going with 2-0. So that's my prediction for it. I know they have Jesse Lingard, which is always a thorn in our eyes. So I hope he hasn't got a good day. But look, it's Nottingham Forest. They're the bottom of the league. It's the bottom against the top. What can happen, you know? So,
you asked the question.
Yeah, I asked the question, you know, what can happen? So, yeah, what do you think about Nottingham on the weekend? Go with you, John, first.
I mean, the Liverpool game, Liverpool have plenty of chances. I watched that game. That finish in Van Dijk in particular could have had a hat-trick. But
yeah.
No, it was just one of those games. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Forest will come to our place and they'll think of this, right, we've nothing to lose. Everyone expects us to lose.
Yeah.
And they'll play with a lot of freedom. And, you know, they'll fancy their chances on the break. There's a bit of pace in that side. Liverpool had a lot of joy from set pieces. So I think we could have a lot of joy as well from set pieces. So, I'm going to be at the game. Touch wood, I'll bring back the 3 points for everybody. But I expect us to win. But again, as I've always said, you got to be professional. You got to take these teams, treat them brief, and hopefully we'll get the first and the second goal in the first 20 minutes just to calm the nerves a little bit. But Forest will come and they'll have a go. They have nothing to fear. So what if they lose 5-0? They'll move on to the next game. This is just a big day out for them. I'd be worried about rotation because we've obviously got the European game in between.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bit concerned just the legs. You know, you got to get the rotation right. Because I think he'll go strong Tuesday night, just to make sure we get that point, and then he can throw out the under-13s against Zurich at home. Because it is, as we've been saying all season, it's a big thing to finish top of this group. I think we should win, but it's Arsenal, it's Forest, it's Sunday. Those of you staying here in Dublin will hopefully find a stream to watch it on.
Yes,
I do expect.
I do expect as well. So let's see what that goes. But 100% that it's one of these games, you know, and it really I think we need a point, and it's gonna be a tough game going to Eindhoven, because I can't see them not being second. That's one thing. They don't think they're gonna have against Bodo or Zurich. They're gonna have some issues. But I'm sure they would like to secure a win for themselves as well. So, team, Eamon, what do you think about the Nottingham game?
Well, I'm just going to give an observation on what I would do if I was Mikel Arteta. I'd actually do the opposite of what John suggested. I'd actually go relatively light against PSV, and because the team looks a little bit tired, and I'd use that as a rest kind of week, and take the defeat. And you know what? I think a defeat for this team might just lance a bit of that ball, you know. And reason being, Zurich are hopeless, and we'll beat Zurich at home, and we'll beat them without expending too much effort, right?
I'm not saying he should go strong, Eamon. I just think he will. I'd actually like to see him play 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, and count go. Yeah.
Okay.
But I just
give me my next line. My next line is, having said all that, what I think you should do. There's a reason why I'm a trade union official and Mikel Arteta is a football manager. So I kind of think we have to put it in the round, John. So if it was me, that's what I would do. He probably will do exactly what you said he did. Okay, so assuming we go over to Eindhoven, get a scratchy draw, that tops us the group. Okay, then we've got 3 league games to look at. The first of which is Forest. Rome wasn't built in a day, young man. Then again, I wasn't on that particular job. Yeah, right. The legend, the greatest ever, my book. Okay, Forest beat Liverpool at the weekend. Liverpool, every chance they got fell to Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, it seemed to be, Yeah.
Henderson made one unbelievable save.
Fantastic save.
Unbelievable. But nonetheless, Liverpool are struggling. They don't have a midfield. So at the moment, and they're not running as hard. Forest give up a lot of chances. They give up a lot of chances. They're brutal at set pieces. I mean, how many chances did Liverpool get from set pieces at the weekend? And Liverpool wouldn't be renowned for, being set piece specialists. So I think I know they'll come up and they have a free shot and all the rest. But look, if we're serious about stuff, that's a game that we've got to score 3 goals in, and they won't score 3 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, look, it's gonna be another week. Games are coming thick and faster. Like we're feeling it now. I think we can see, especially in the second half. I think the legs are a bit gone. And yeah, I would play the strongest team I can play, probably just to see, maybe have them on the bench, and see what the young ones can do, and then maybe in the last couple of minutes throw them on again. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll see. But I think Nottingham Forest. Look, we should get 3 points like that. If we want to stay where we are, these are the 3 points we need to get. Look, this is we said today it's going to be a really short enough show. I think we covered everything else. I just wanted to say thanks again. We're nearly at 2,500 subscribers now.
You know, question.
Yes. Having a question, a question. No, I'm not doing a question. That's Jonathan's thing for it. I'm just gonna think. I actually have a question because
Jonathan. Will I do Jonathan? Hello. Hello.
I actually have a question. I have a question actually from which was actually put on the last video we had, and it is from what's his name, from Neil Egan. He said
Palomine,
hugely entertaining as ever, chaps. Idea for improvement: best beer to drink while watching the Arsenal, and why? So I'm gonna put this out to Eamon, you first, and they have a look and say. Well, and I actually put back where would you watch it, at home, at the match, at the pub, where things. So, but he wants the best beer to drink while watching the Arsenal.
Well, first of all, for those of us who are lucky enough to be able to enjoy alcohol sensibly, silence. No, for those of us who are lucky enough, I mean, the best beer to do anything with is Guinness. There's no doubt about it. I'm a Dublin boy and I drink a Dublin drink. And Neil Egan, of all people, who actually hails from Santry, should know this, right? But he's a bit of he lives in Germany. He's a bit of a laggerhead, I'll tell you, I'll put the question in reverse. The worst beer to drink is that Camden shite that they serve in the ground. So maybe Neil, if you're listening,
I tell you, it's only £3.50 now at the moment. So £3.50, that's not a bad price for even But I know what you mean. It's a terrible beer to drink. But what can you do?
Shit fest. Yeah.
John, what's your beer to go?
Oh, I'm a lager man. I'm enjoying all the Italian beers at the moment. Yeah. Maybe I should switch to a Brazilian beer, or maybe even a Portuguese beer with the amount of players we've got coming through at the moment. Yeah. That makes sense. So, what would you reckon?
Sagres would be a nice Sagres would be nice.
That's quite a nice one if we could get it on tap in Dublin. But I'll stick with the Beer Moretti at the moment. So
well, Beer Moretti and this show are kind of have an association.
Yeah, I think we could be looking for a sponsorship deal. Martin, over here.
Like JVC and Arsenal,
Oh yeah. Well, as I say, I normally actually make an advertisement for I have Polana here, or Franciscana, basically. That's my wife's bit to think. But you don't really get that on draft, unfortunately. So you just, and the bottles are that's just terrible what we get here. The Erdinger, forget about that. It need to be a Polana or a Franciscana for me. But yeah, at the games, Jesus Christ, when you go to England and the pub, Moretti is not bad, but on match day the beers are just I don't know. It's just in a plastic cup and whatever. It's just terrible. So yeah, my beer is a Weiss beer, and I think Neil asked that last time because he said he's in Germany, yeah.
Yeah. He's outside Munich.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so then I understand why he's asking that question. So, but yeah, this is basically it. So 2,500 subscribers. We had over 100 nearly on each of the podcasts, and the same on what we're gonna do this week. So we're getting on, and next week Jonathan might be back if he doesn't die in the marathon. So what's he gonna run? Fair play to him. He's really training for this,
Yeah. Hello and welcome to this week's Dublin Marathon.
Oh God! Listen,
Five.
we have to cut it short. Like Eamon has to go for a fancy dinner, and we're just gonna have to prepare for a second podcast now. Let's see how the week goes, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again, 14.
Please all
on YouTube
Thanks,
channel.
Martin.
Right?
Thanks, Sean. See you later, pal.
No worries.
Okay, well,
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.